Hey there. I was getting a few messages about pools and how do you make a pool. So I wanted to go through the options of how to make a pool and how to make it efficiently and more importantly competitively. So what I would first do is go to the list of all pools, have a look at the loaned amount, and have a look at the pools which are loaning out. So we are going to play around with USDC in this tutorial. So we can see here that a pool by Liquid, most of his USDC is loaned out, over 41 loans. If we go down here, there's another one, this James Bond, both with APYs about 150%. Now, you need to take into account three things, really. You need to take into account the APYs, the max duration, and also the LTVs, which is loan to value. Because as a lender, if you are, say for example, giving 99% SOL to USDC return, well, someone can take out a loan, and if the price of Solana drops by 1%, then there's no incentive for them to pay it back and pay back the interest because what they already have is worth more or the same. So you have to be very careful with the durations, the APYs, and the LTVs. For example, if you have higher loan to value, then maybe you want a lower duration, or maybe because you have a higher LTV, the risk is more for you as a lender, so you want to charge a higher APY. Um, Perhaps this one, for example, is only at 150% and it has a max duration of 7. Maybe they have a lower LTV in general. So, for example, here they only offer a LTV of 80%, which, if we look down, we look at their loans. A lot of their loans are with When, some Sol, some BTC, and a few Sol as well. And you can have a look at their LTVs, getting an idea of what they're loaning out. We got When at 50%, BTC at 80%. Now, if we compare that with some other ones, for example, we've got this Loan Don, for example. He has less days and a higher APY, and I believe that's because he charges a higher loan to value. So people can get more and borrow more. So this loan to value is 90%. So they can borrow more money, but they're going to charge that at a higher return. And to mitigate the risk, he's only allowing people to borrow for 5 days. So there's only 5 days in which that percentage of SOL, for example, can drop by about 10%, 12%. So it's really interesting to keep an eye on all of these things to make your pool as competitive as possible. So how do we go and get a pool? So if we go to my pool, this is a pool I already have, and I'm going to click update. You should see like create new pool or something like that. So I'm going to update. We're going to go into Pro, and we're going to start here by choosing the number of days and APY. So I'm going to choose a day of 5 days, and I'm going to choose an APY of somewhere around, I'm going to go around 192, a little bit lower than the second pool we saw. And then we go on to tokens. So tokens here are what tokens you're going to accept as collateral for your USDC. So you have to choose a loan to value. So if I'm going to give you, say it says 90 loan to value, if you deposit 1,000 SOL to me, I'm going to give you 900 USDC. So if the SOL price drops by 10%, then you're at risk of the person not paying back your loan, and then you've lost the difference on that. So you have to be careful with your loan to values. You have to set it. Generally, people have been doing it around the 80-70% mark, but some of these like really high pools, if we see the APY of, for example, this one, Easy Loans, you can see that he has like a 1-day one with a really high APY. And you have some more around like 299 with a 1-day, 319 for a 3-day, and yeah. So what you need to do is choose the loan to value that you want for your pool and your exposure. So say your whole pool contains $1,000. Do you want to have someone potentially borrow all $1,000 to SOL? Or are you at risk of that going down? Are you worried about SOL going down? So do you want to put all of that money into one pool, basically? For example, here with my Bonk, I'm offering quite a high LTV of 59% because Bonk is quite volatile. And I'd recommend with the meme coins, I was originally going down to about 40-30% with these coins. But again, it depends on your duration, because with Bonk and Samo being so volatile, you don't want to provide a long duration for that to be super volatile. You want to just be kind of in and out, get that return, and then reset the price in a couple of days. So with your loan to value, you want to be lower on higher volatility coins. And so you go through here and you click to the right to see all the other coins. And if you don't want a coin, if I'm going to go to the end here, say you don't want ETH, you just get to click that off, and then ETH won't show up in your pool. And you can do this for as many as you want. I think you get 50 in total, but there are only 24 tokens, and I would definitely recommend adding all of these in. And if there are certain coins you're not so sure about, like Abel, for example, originally I went down to like 10%. And if people loan out Abel, I'm comfortable at a 10% rate. So, and then we click next step. Now we're going to do the same for NFT collections. I'm not as well versed in NFTs, so I don't know too much about the fluctuations in price. The only one that I've really been following along is the Parcel one, and so what I tend to do is just set a much lower loan to value and go from there, but mostly focusing on the tokens. So again, you can just scroll through. I'll do this one here, for example. If you just click, it will add it, and then you can choose your loan to value. I'll go 10%, and then go to the next step. So advanced options, you have quite a few different things. You compound interest. If this is checked, the interest will be re-injected into the pool, allowing your pool to grow exponentially over time. Or you can get the interest sent to your address. Now, I would personally compound it always, just because if you're going to be passive and you're just going to be leaving it for a certain amount of time, then why not have that extra money instead of sitting in your wallet doing nothing? You can just have it compounding. So I would definitely click this option. Buy now, pay later is if people are using the new Magic Swap or buying NFTs at a cheaper rate. I would encourage this. And then you have pool parameters, which can offer some really interesting things in terms of loans. So this will show you four things. It will show you your fixed rate per loan, which is our AP, so it's our APY times by our loan duration. If I just flick through this, so leave this as it is, because if you change this, the APY in your first screen will skyrocket. And you've got your maximum amount per loan. So say you had a pool of 1,000 and you didn't really want to lend it all out to one person, for example, for whatever reason, you can go ahead and change the maximum amount per loan. Pool utilization rate and loan term adjustment rate. This is pretty interesting. So currently it's set at 0, and if we simulate a loan here, so at a $200 loan at any amount of liquidity in the pool will always charge the same interest currently. However, if we want to change these rates, what happens is it changes the rate based on two things. Firstly, based on the loan itself, like how long the loan is. So the longer the loan, the more interest people are paying towards the last few days. I'll see if I can do that. If I do that, for example. So here, if I go to say 2%, it'll be a bit more. So as people are borrowing here, they are paying more interest towards the later days because you as the lender are taking on that risk. If the price goes down below your by what you've loaned out for, basically, then you're going to be at a loss. So sometimes the longer duration, that's more risky to you, so that you can have the interest go higher at these later stages. And the pool utilization rate depends on how much you borrowed. So for example, if there's nothing borrowed, there's no real incentive for you to get the money back. So all the interest is at the same rate. Whereas you slowly start to go up, you can go up to 33%. That fifth day spikes up a little bit. Whereas if you're at 100%, then the first 2 days are what you would have it at normally, and then the interest spikes up. I do think the UI for this at the moment isn't the greatest. It's not as clear, I don't think, when borrowing. So I would probably stay away from this just for now. And then I think in the next week or so, I would definitely really experiment with this, because even just some slight additions. So for example, when you got 76, just that slight little interest rate tick up would be quite good, and it would improve your bottom line for those people waiting until the last day to repay. So that is the advanced pool parameters. And the pool conditions, so if you want certain people not to borrow from you, maybe they have too many liquidations, maybe they've only just created an account, you can say, well, I want you to at least have had an account for 10 days, or I want you to have already taken out 5 loans, etc. With the pool being so new, I wouldn't use this. I think you gain a lot from liquidations if people forget to repay, and at the moment you're not punished as a lender for liquidations, it's the borrower that is punished. So I would click this off. I would work with these two for now, but I do encourage, if you're good with maths, if you're good with pools, to have a look at these pool parameters. I will definitely be using them in the future. And if you go to the review, you get to see all of your collections, all of your pairs at different LTVs. And I'd play around with these LTVs and the durations just to try and figure out what works for you. I might go back and adjust some of these, but you go down here, you can update your pool, and then you need to approve a signature, and you can't see it here, but they've lowered the fee to just 1 cent to adjust this pool, which is really good. So I hope that is a in-depth guide on how to make a pool. My referral link will be, oh, that's just failed, but if you just keep clicking update pool, it will eventually go through. I know the network is congested at the moment. My referral link for Rain is going to be in the description below, so maybe you're already on Rain, but if you do have some friends on Rain or not on Rain, please, if this guide helped you, send them this link and send them my referral link. But this is a great way to loan out your tokens at competitive APYs. Hope this helps. Cheers, guys.